morning. Setting boundaries with people you love. Difficult, challenging, lots of emotions, lots of push and pull. So we're going to discuss effective ways to set real boundaries with people you love. Today on Morning Meditation, I am Ann Morrison, and welcome to Ascension Studios. So, there's so many women in particular, men too, who are stuck in this I cannot set boundaries for my own life thing. Now, I know if you grew up in my generation that you were taught your needs came after everybody else's, that you always consider everybody's feelings before your own and everybody's comfort before your own. And this is how it was done. And as I look back on it now, I understand the slavery of it in penetrating that attitude on more than half of the species to subserviate them. And so we grow up and we have our businesses and our things that we have made accomplishments in, and we have rights enough now that people can complain about the smaller things being uncomfortable, and I think that that's wonderful, and I'm glad I marched for it. And still we are stuck at a place with our family where the prevailing attitude when they were growing up is still the same. The mother, the head of the household, these people are there to be of service, to be a rock, to be a place of comfort for everyone to land, where you can expect things like you can clean out the cupboards and replace things, and you can come and go as you please without warning. And well, for a lot of the time that's not terrible. And it's not an issue of finances, because the abundance is always there for whatever we need. It is an issue of understanding that there might be a life going on without your presence that actually deserves a little bit of respect. And when you can acknowledge within yourself that your life and the things that you're choosing to do outside of your family is important. It is vital. It is necessary for you to keep a full cup. It is necessary for you to go forward as the person you want to be in all of these situations, to have this for yourself. And so you sit down with your family and you reiterate, I like to do this with my life. I need this in my life. For example, maybe I want to have sex on the kitchen counters. If I know you're going to walk in at any time, that makes that a different scenario. If, however, I knew when you were coming, I could do timing a little bit different. Now, that's an extreme example. But just because I am a grandmother doesn't mean that those kind of things are not in my life anymore. And I know that my parents had completely no knowledge of boundaries. And my children had an askew sense of boundaries. And we still work on it all the time, because when you are setting boundaries, you also have to recognize and acknowledge that there are boundaries on the other side as well. And everyone truly wants to make it work. And if you don't, you don't. There are certain places where it's going to work and certain places where it isn't going to work. And you're important. So, boundaries become fences, walls, absolute rules in those situations, which can get very uncomfortable until it becomes a matter of course. When all parties want it to work out, usually it goes pretty well. So we are always in a kind of boundary setting because we're getting past our own thought of us having worth in being a support system and wanting to be the savior and run in and say, oh, I got this. Yeah, I'm doing it. Dummy. Are you? And then all of a sudden being the savior gets really, really boring. And you go to get spaghetti sauce when you have your pasta all cooked up and it's all gone. 12 cans. All gone. Nobody said anything. Nobody went to the grocery. Just gone. Little bits of irritant. But one of the reasons that you do help people out is so that they can get on their feet and find their own standing as a person managing their own life. So you can't always expect it to happen overnight, but you can sit them down and say, okay, I need from 7:30 to 8 o'clock every single morning to be silent in my house, period, because I'm doing my meditation. And for me, I'm doing my video on top of it. And it doesn't always happen. And sometimes, even when everything happens perfectly, the dogs see someone walking down the street and there it goes. Okay, life happens. I don't expect, and you should never expect absolute perfection in setting of boundaries. And you might also get some in return, which is okay. There are a few things that I heard recently that are really good for finding out if your boundaries are being reasonable. Like, excuse me. There is an exchange. How much time your parents spent supporting you emotionally in your life. That is the amount of emotional support you owe your parents at the end of their life. So if you were not emotionally supported, if you were berated, demeaned, belittled, subserviated, you don't owe anything. If there was a genuine help, you owe some. But if there was more harm done than good, you don't. And if somebody is asking you to give up your entire life for people who caused more harm than good, you are not obligated. Just as a general rule of thumb. If my daughter asks me to knock before coming into her place, absolutely. I would never go in without knocking, unless the door was standing wide open. Totally realistic boundary. I ask for 30 minutes in the morning. Totally realistic boundary. I'm working. If I'm filling my cup, I'm doing my health routine. These are all important parts of doing the morning meditation. And so you sit down and say, I really need this. When you use up something that is a staple in our kitchen, replace it. Simple. And usually I get it, I've kind of been bad at that lately, and I'll come up to speed. And then you reinforce, and every parent knows what I'm talking about with this. We would love to say the children do not steal treats, take them into the yard, into the playhouse, and gorge on them or hide them. and yet they still do. Which causes problems with the critters. And so I have to constantly help to reinforce that this is not appropriate behavior from all these different aspects. And I can't get upset every time it happens, because it is a matter of needing reinforcement and reinforcement and reinforcement and reinforcement, especially after there has been a period of time where it was okay. And in their life it was at a certain period of time. So you set up the boundaries and you figure out how you want to approach them first. Be ready for the fact that boundaries may be coming your way. And then you have a calm discussion. You don't say, "God damn, you took the last jar of spaghetti sauce. What the hell am I going to eat now?" You're like, okay. What we have to do is reinforce the boundary. Simple. It's remind. That sounds like rewind, doesn't it? Remind gently that this is a necessity in an adult's life to replace things that you used all of. And so this is how we go over boundaries. The reason the boundaries are so hard is because we care about these people in our lives. We really do. Even the ones where we cannot come to a place. And breaking off is difficult. And setting rules instead of boundaries is also difficult. We don't really want to have to restrict the behavior. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if everybody just decided to act the way that I want them to? But then again, I can't count on the fact that I am always going to act the way that I want to. So, can't put that type of expectation out there on another person. And there is no need to get angry. If they say, "Oh hell, I'm not going to do that," say, "Well, unfortunately, that is not a choice. This is how it's going to work for me. Now, I would like to make things work for you, but it's not going to happen without things also working for me." You give yourself value, you give yourself worth, you reaffirm your importance in your own life, the importance of your health routine, the importance of your work, the importance of your time, your solitude, your comfort in your own home. This is all in your own home stuff. And because there's different rules in your home as somebody else's home. If I was living in my daughter's home, my daughter would be setting most of the boundaries. It's her home. If she's paying for everything, she sets most of the boundaries. That is how it goes. The person taking the most responsibility is the person with the most authority to set the boundaries. The person who is doing the least amount of responsibility is the person who is following the other person's boundaries so that they get the benefit of living with the other person taking those responsibilities on. But to remain calm sometimes is difficult. And sometimes you have to wait an evening. You have to wait a day. You have to formulate, this is how I say this calmly, and this is how I say this with the least amount of rare happening on the other side. And it's possible because everybody wants to love and be loved for who they are, not just as their position supports somebody else's life and journey, but as they support their life and journey as well. So absolutely necessary to set and maintain and gently remind on boundaries. If they do not, over time, become something that is set in stone, and something is just a normal course of behavioral action, then you turn them into rules. And if the rules cannot be adhered to, then you have to think about what it's going to cost for you to be you. And I had to do that. It's a tough thing. It's a really tough thing. And it's been the hardest, the most painful, and the absolute best decision of my entire life. I have come to a place where I like me, where I stand up for me, where I do things for me and for my health without any guilt. And I've been able to accomplish things I've been told my whole life were absolutely impossible. So, boundaries are good. They give us one thing at a time. Make sure it's one thing at a time. Ways in which we work on dealing with each other as adults within our comfort, allowing each person to be themselves and walk their own journey. So, to do this, we need a healthy sense of self and enough confidence to give ourselves the worth that it takes to do things like a daily health routine. And that is also a journey. Boundaries helps the journey along. The journey is helped by boundaries all the way. So don't be afraid of setting them. Set them calmly, set them conscientiously, and allow yourself what you need. Simple. We're going to start off today in our ego center, because to do this in the most effective way possible, and the way it's going to piss off as little people as you can, requires remaining calm, very matter of fact, and still being able to listen. And this is all a matter of our ego, our place in our world and its importance. So, starting off in yellow, go ahead and feel the vibration of the emanation of the energy from the solar chakra. Let it fill up. Now, this isn't a matter of bragging. This isn't a matter of name dropping. This isn't a who got who, and this isn't a guess what I did. This is a true understanding and appreciation of my own worth as a human being walking my path. Understanding that there is value in the journey I have chosen. And bring it down. Connect to the earth. The root chakra, always a good time to ground. Feel yourself as part of all the particle bound. And bring it up. And spend a little extra time here on our self-care chakra, which is pink, right above our heart chakra, which is green. Because this is also part of boundary setting. Up, throat, third eye, and crown. Connect to the unconditional love. Connect to a world without ego. Connect to wisdom beyond your wildest dreams. And a download of the next step for you to take to walk your journey. Find yourself in your mind palace. Calm your tornado. Calm the tornado. See a big open screen around you, like one of those IMAXs. And playing on that screen, I want you to envision sitting down and kindly and compassionately setting boundaries. and hearing about the other person's boundaries and weighing and balancing and finding a place where coming together with a person that you love is respectful to both parties, where both parties are able to keep on their journey going forward in the best way for them, as well as be in a relationship with you. See, calmly talking through the bits and pieces. No blaming. No, you did this. No, you did that. Just, I would really like it if we could replace the groceries that we use. Is that acceptable? Yeah, it's acceptable. I'd like it if you knock down the door. What's acceptable? Awesome. Okay, so let's go forward. And let's enjoy each other's company. Just that simple, just that calm, and just that beautiful. And a big ol' hug at the end, maybe. And see it playing out in all of the places where boundaries need to be gently set or reinforced to create a place for you to thrive as the important, vital person that you are on the important, vital journey that you're on. Not just as a support system for others. And allow them to be the important, vital people that they are on the important, vital journey that they're on. And how cool that I get to hear about it and I get to see it and I get to be there. Watch the transformation of character, the building of self-esteem, the congratulations of accomplishment. Awesome! All right, back up to the crown. Allow the download. Feel the love. Bring it down. Beautiful self-care. Feeling really good and strong now. And down, and my ego feeling good too. I didn't have to be nasty or demanding or any of that. What I got was a wonderful way to go forward, giving me more of what I need while still maintaining a relationship that is capable of being flexible to respecting me and my goals. And down and connect to the earth and come back and go forward. Setting boundaries doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person. And I like you. Namaste.